We've all heard the sayings, the new normal, in these unprecedented times. We're all in this together, and nature is healing. We're the virus. Over and over and over and over again. It's true, things are different from how they were a year ago, and they'll likely be different for a little while longer. So in this new normal, how can we make the best of things? For some, the answer's clear. Tactical urbanism. Also known as DIY urbanism, planning by doing, urban acupuncture, or urban prototyping, this approach refers to neighborhood building and improvement using short-term, low-cost, and adaptable objects to gather support for long-term change.
There is no one definition for tactical urbanism. Cities around the world use different materials for their pilot projects. This can be as temporary as cones and chalk, or more semi-permanent, like concrete jersey barriers and wooden planters with furniture.
With COVID, we've seen a decrease, globally, in the volume of commuters on roads. This has provided a unique window for tactical urbanism to take hold in spaces that are typically considered too congested, too busy, or too dangerous. In these unprecedented times, tactical urbanism is filling a gap in our transportation networks and providing an economic boost.
More employees are working from home, which means less folks in downtown cores or business districts. This is great at alleviating commute stress for those that still head into workplaces. Less cars on the roads means faster commute times and less pressure on our transportation networks and transit systems. Businesses in downtowns across the country are concerned that this lack of office workers and commuters will mean a steep drop in revenue, perhaps even permanently. They're looking for ways to attract new customers, and tactical urbanism can help. Allowing people to move throughout an area while socially distancing makes visitors feel safer and more likely to remain in the area for an extended period of time. Additionally, being outdoors has a lower rate of transmission for COVID than indoor spaces, keeping our communities healthy. Cyclists have also been proven to be more loyal and more free-spending customers than drivers. Tactical urbanism infrastructure that allows cyclists to easily access an area can mean an influx in revenue for businesses.
One important thing to note is that when parking is removed, any available or remaining street parking should be reserved for handicapped accessible parking or loading zones for the street's businesses.
Across Canada, cities are reacting to the pandemic by reallocating space to ensure all citizens can get from A to B safely. In Kitchener, the city closed 3 streets to turn them into outdoor public patios to encourage socially distanced socializing and attract customers to nearby shops and restaurants. The project, called DTK Summer Detour, has received plenty of positive feedback, with some residents requesting that the closures be made permanent. Tactical urbanism as a response to COVID in Halifax has taken the form of the HRM's Mobility Response Streets and Spaces project. The project includes closures of some residential roads to car traffic and creating slow streets, which allow for local traffic only, in an attempt to reduce vehicle volumes and increase the space for residents to walk, roll, and cycle safely while they move about their neighborhood. They've been gathering feedback on these slow streets, with much of that feedback being positive, including requests for these slow streets to be made more permanent, expanded, or added to new areas. In areas with business improvement districts, like Godergen Street, they've collaborated with the organizations to try to meet the needs of those businesses. If we're going to make these changes, doing it at a time of reduced use is the easiest way to implement tests with the least disturbances. And it can convince people that the way of life they've known isn't how it has to be. Social distancing is forcing us to think about how we use transportation space. Prioritizing private vehicles means we can get from A to B really quickly, but neglects many other aspects of what makes communities welcoming, complete, and livable.
To quote the Brookings Institution, COVID-19 has been a wake-up call that we leave too little space for sidewalks, bike lanes, and just about any roadway use besides motor vehicles. But there's also a chicken or egg element at play. As long as local streets primarily reserve space for cars, people will want to drive more. If society wants to create more safe space for outdoor activity, promote more biking, and reduce the use of our top source of pollution, then it's time to refashion our streets for more sustainable, safer uses.